Hello, I have one more meeting. Got one more meeting. We've been meeting. Let me tell you, we have been meeting today. I got one more meeting, and then we're gonna swatch all the Maybelline lip liners. I'll talk briefly. I don't want to get too wild because I still need to go pack, but I'll talk about foundation shades, or not foundation shades, foundation formulas, and how it's kind of just easier to get a full coverage foundation if you're having to layer. So we'll talk about that, and then there was something else. I don't remember. I'm in so many meetings. Okay, I got one more, and it starts at 3:30 Central Time. And then after that, I don't know how long it's gonna be. But I did film this eye. Let's see what else. Oh, and my lip color is, let me just tell you my lip color before I go. I know you're gonna wanna know. It's one of the MAC Bring Back Macs. This 𝗕𝗄𝑆 lip liner. Okay, first we had the 𝗕𝗄𝑆 lip liner, and that is shade Beyond. It's really good. I've already had this on since, I don't even know, noon? Yeah, noon, and I've been drinking my 𝗕𝗏𝘂, my water. Okay, and then I have my back, this is the, what is it? Bring It Back MAC or whatever, but the shade is Hot Gossip. And this is a really pretty lip. I got excited. And then my blush, so originally, and you'll see the look, I did this entire look. I did have a lid color on, but I wiped it off because I'm going to film something after we're done chatting. But I did my entire face with this palette, okay? I did all of it. This is the only palette I travel with now. And I filmed that. This is it. I don't even take any eyeshadow palettes anymore. I literally just do my entire looks with this and then different liners, eyeliners. This is a spicy price palette, but not only do I use it to travel, I use it here. It is just so easy to use, and it's wildly pigmented. I don't even know how to rate this because I don't think I can live makeup life without this now. So out of every palette that has come out recently, this is the one I reach for the most, and that's some big talk. That's big talk around here, okay? But then I did have this. I use this as blush, and you'll see it in the video. That one right there, beautiful. But then I had my face set, and I use this to set my face. That's what you're seeing right now. You're seeing that palette. But then I got curious, and I was like, look, I'm going through it. Do you see this? I got curious, and then I thought, can I put this on top of powder? Because I wanted to see if I could, and I did. So this went on top of powder. No issues. It worked out perfectly. Now I will say the brush and the fiber might have had something to do with it. This is coming soon, but the shade that I used was dope, and I'm taking this with me to LA tomorrow. Yes, and I'm a little scatterbrained. Let me go finish this, and then I'll come back, and it'll be our normal talk through. I'll be back in just a little while. Well, this slide has transpired. Listen, I was in like 4 meetings today. Each one like an hour at least, some an hour and a half, some more. I'm taking my shoes off. Got my Free People jacket all snuggled up. I only tell you the brand because I know y'all usually ask. This is Free People, it's soft. Now I will say, shortly after I had to go grab some food because I had only had a small bowl of cereal and it was dinner time. So I did eat in between them, but on my way to the food, there's Ulta. But first, let's talk about why you might want a full coverage foundation. So when we hear full coverage foundation, we think thick, we think heavy, we think, that's not the case. That's not always the case. Now it can be the case. There are some emollient that's very thick. I'll show it to you. Think the KVD Good Apple. I will say that's probably not my absolute favorite formula of a full coverage foundation, and the reason why is because of the way the pigments blend with what makes it spread. So that one does tend to feel a little heavier, but if you have dry skin, that Good Apple is, I have balance to dry. So mine is like kind of juicy. So sometimes I don't want that, but if you have extra dry skin, you would love that. But let me kind of show you what I'm talking about. So we talked about the Patrick Ta foundation yesterday, and I absolutely love it, but it's labeled at Sephora as a medium coverage foundation. And when I first reviewed this, I didn't even look at it, and I was already calling it a light coverage, very light coverage. not buildable because of how wet it is. Now I'm gonna put this on and I'm gonna do one pump and I'm gonna put it right here. We're gonna do our normal, and it's a hair too light, but we're not here to judge that. Already by the way that this feels, it feels a lot heavier than some of my full coverage foundations. And that's because it's a dewy foundation. This is not, I love this foundation. We're not here to talk badly about it. That's not what we're doing. But as we start to work this out, okay, it will shear out because we're moving it, we're placing it in different places. Let's just go ahead and place it all the way up here. But notice you're starting to see, I'm okay with where this coverage went. I'm perfectly okay with it. I like it. But you're just gonna start to see all this? See that? See that? Not a bad thing. And it's blurring. And that's one of the reasons I do love this formula, because it's a nice blur. What is blur? Blur means to kind of hide and disguise texture or imperfections. I was saying like this little creature that popped up, it would blur that. But what happens is, say that we wanted to build this up. This foundation at this stage in this very thin, this is a nice thin layer now, okay? That is not medium, by the way. That is just not, we're up here, Gene Bean, that is just not a medium coverage foundation. It's not. It's not. Not a bad thing, but I don't want you to get something and then go, oh, I got a medium coverage foundation. And I'm saying this because if I try to blend, look, I'm just gonna do that little dot. Look, I won't even grab the whole dot. And I try to build on top of this, it is going to stay so wet. No matter, and then if I try to put powder, it could get clumpy and lumpy. So at this point, look, we're still not getting to build where we need to build. So at this point, we might as well just bump it up to a medium full. One more time. I love this foundation. I love it. I'm actually gonna take it with me, but it's a light coverage foundation because I'm still able to see everything. Now let me show you a medium coverage and then I'll wipe this off and I'll show you full coverage. So now let's try a medium coverage. This has been one of my favorites. It's gonna get us to more coverage than this. It might be a little bit of a better match, but that's not what we're judging. I'm gonna do one pump, okay? Smooth it out. I always smooth out everything, but you just got to give it a nice fair chance. Now it's going to pull a little bit more yellow because there's so much redness in my cheek right now. My cheeks are very hot. But once it's blended, it'll be perfect. If you've ever put your foundation on a random day and you hated it, it could be because you had a little bit more redness in your cheeks, and that red is going to pull the yellow. It's a thing. It's a thing. Now we'll use the same brush, but I'm just going to wipe it on Sheila, and you can see that it's not absorbing a ton of the product, so we're good to go. Now let's go ahead. This is a medium coverage foundation. Do you see that? How that redness, and that's a small amount. Remember, crisis. Look how much is still on the back of my hand. So now I've wound up using less. Look, that's still on the back of my hand. I've used less. You're still able to see kind of a little bit of my skin peeking through, my skin tone, okay? My undertone is just kind of peeking through. But as opposed to this light coverage, there's no right or wrong. I just want you to know that building light coverage foundations sometimes makes everything worse. So sometimes I know we hear light coverage, and that's what, even for me when I first started, I want the lightest coverage. I don't want to feel it on my skin. I was that way, but I would have used less and it could have looked even smoother because I was taking the light coverage foundation and building and building and building and building and building, and I was putting on so much product. When I did one pump, still have a bunch left, and we have way more coverage on this side. It's just something to think about. All right, let's look at full coverage. All right, this is one of my favorite full coverage foundations of all time, but what I think is special about 𝗕𝗿𝘂 is that depending on how much you wear and the skin prep underneath it, you could really manipulate it into what you're after because, listen, why? Because it's so thin, right? But it's also really pigmented. So that's why I feel that 𝗕𝗿𝘂 is just really universal. Now I'm trying to decide, you know what? I'm just gonna do my forehead because it'll cover that up. Let's just do it. Do it on my forehead. Y'all get it. Now you notice I'm shaking it, okay? I do shake this for quite some time. it makes a difference. Now I need a spatula. There we go. Trying to see if I had another one over there. This one will do. So I like to just kind of dip it in here. And I actually don't mind that double wear does not come with a pump, because I usually like to go off of this. And usually if I dip it in here and swirl it, that's the perfect amount for a full coverage face. Okay, let's do this. So I'm just gonna do that little bit. Okay, I'll just do it right in the center. Give me something to lay this on. This is a travesty. So I would have kind of used that to smooth it. I'm gonna use my finger because that might have deposited too much for this area. Jean is absolutely snoring. Are we sleeping this late? Apparently we are. Okay, now I'm gonna, and we use the smallest amount. In fact, I used way too much on my forehead. I already know I did. But the way, look at that. Whee, it's gone. The way that double wear is so thin and so pigmented, it's just amazing. It really is just still one of my favorite formulas after all of these years. But now, because it is so thin, if we need to build it before it dries, you absolutely can. But the way that, I should have done it on my cheek, but I will say the way that double wear dries, it just feels so different compared to other foundations. Look at that. And now we have a full coverage forehead, but it just looks so smooth. It is such a smooth foundation. Now, I'm not saying this because you need to get double wear. I'm going to show you some other full coverage options. When I think full coverage, I just always think double wear with you. And it's so thin. Honestly, it looks, and I know you can see that, it looks as thin as this does, but with just more pigment. Let me give you more options, because that's what we do here. Not everybody wants double wear. Let's keep trucking. Actually, this is kind of helpful. Do you know what is more buildable and medium coverage? I just want to give examples. Then this one, light coverage, is the Fenty. This one I can get to medium coverage. I can get this one up to this Revlon, this level of coverage. So that's kind of interesting, right? You wouldn't think that this one would, but it does real nicely. So that's a good example. Now this one to me would be medium to full. This is the Makeup Forever HD. You can do this one medium. It'll look like this, but the way that it dries and how thin it is, it's so thin. This just doesn't dry down, and it's because it's dewy. Again, I'm taking it with me. I really, really like it. But to really layer can be very difficult with a foundation this wet, and to build it to where you want, because then we're just putting on the product and we're not getting the pigment. We want something to where we put on product, but we get the pigment. With this one, if we try to layer, we're just putting it on, but we're not getting that pigment. Perfect way to say it. But I will say I am going to take the Dominique bronzer to give this more coverage and to darken it. So that's definitely going with me. Let me pack that right now, because I won't wear this to the airport. I usually just wear a little concealer in my, the typology corrector. I'm posting about that tonight, actually. Oh, one more. The House Labs to me would be considered medium, and this is, again, a kind of a really wet formula. It is very thin, but I always felt like this one could have used a little bit more pigment. Hang on, let me wipe this off. All right, they labeled it right. They say it's medium coverage on the site. That's all we gotta do. I don't remember what this match was, so let's not judge the match. A little too warm. But, and again, that's not a whole pump either. That does look pretty good. And it's gonna give us some coverage. And that is medium coverage. And I know it's gonna look scary because it has a lot of pigment. See, that can be scary. I feel like sometimes when it goes onto our lips, we're like, whoa! So all you gotta do, just remember to wipe your lips off and just kind of step back. But what I'm saying is this is still a foundation that I wouldn't build any more than this, but also I like this coverage. Medium coverage is really where I like to be, and that's what I'm doing when I'm adding the bronzer underneath of the Patrick Ta, is I'm kind of trying to take it to just a hair of medium coverage. I'm just going over there, and then with concealer I can definitely get it to medium coverage. But this This is a true medium coverage, and when we don't layer it, it is absolutely perfect, wears beautifully. This one's an 11 out of 10. I do wish, I mean, you can see that there. Now the Revlon is, once it's dried down, it's matching a lot better. But this, I just never really could find the perfect match. And y'all, the brand has been lovely, and they've sent me so many shades. I've purchased shades before they even sent me the shades. I've tried. There's just not a perfect shade for me in that formula. I just wish we could get some cooler tones. That's all I need. You know what? Kosas listen, so maybe House Labs will listen. All right, I think that's everything. Now, yeah, I think that's good. I think it's a good lesson. Sometimes too much information can be overwhelming. But that being said, I hope that this helps. Now, I want to swatch stuff. We're not done. I do have to post at 7. I'm excited to post because it's about redness. So let's talk about... Actually, let's swatch these, but let me get this off my face so we can just swatch them on my cheek. All right, be right back. All right, let's do this. Got all these Maybelline lip liners. Making sure I have them. Actually, you know what? I'm not sure if I have all of them, but let's just say that I do. All right, let's just go. And I'm going to try to label them. So this is the one we used yesterday. This is Cross the Line. They're so glidey and so long-lasty. Just making up words. I'm sorry. This is Player. Ooh, that's pretty. That one's warm. I wonder if there's some cooler tones. This is Big Lift. Oh, I like that one. Yeah, I'd use that one a lot. And then let me see if I can get one more in on this slide. This one is Fine Line. Nice. Kind of want to drag out my lifter glosses and pair this together. Actually, I got a Fenty gloss. I'm going to show you the Ulta stuff too, and that's what we'll do today because I haven't really tried enough. Okay, we got Line Leader. That's a pretty color. Then we got, this is the one I used, right? On It. Yeah, I think On It is actually my favorite, and that's the one that I got. I'm actually going to take this with me, put this in my bag right now. Okay. And then I got, let me stop it because I put that one away and it's going to confuse me. All right, let's keep tracking. This is the red one, Main Character. You know what? I kind of want to see that compared to the red Fenty. That's me looking for it. What have I done? Why do, oh my gosh, snake, it would have bit me. This MVP. Let's just look. Oh, I need to sharpen it. This one's a hair more saturated. The Fenty is. All right, I had to compare those. Now let's finish this up. Now we have Out of Line. Oh yeah, I definitely use that one too. I would. Then Let's Bounce. I'm kind of excited for this one. You'll know I love a brown lip liner. Ooh, that's a good color. Ooh. I love makeup so much. Just little lines on my face. And then this is Peaking. Okay, so I like the last 3 a lot. That's nice. Now, what else were we gonna swatch? I'm sorry. Oh, these. I don't have all of them. You know what? I just chatted with Kiko today. We need to get all of these. I wanted the one that sold out. Oh wait, do I think I have that one? Yes, I have 01. How many are there? Because I only have these. Did I put it in here? No, I don't think I have all of them. Let me go screenshot and let's count together. All right, let's count them together. Okay, so there's 8 shades and I only have these. I only have 5 of them. I need the rest of these because this is probably my new favorite lipstick. Now, 01 is sold out. What y'all doing? I don't even think I put on 01. I'm gonna look atrocious right now. I don't even want to hear it. I don't need it right now. Let me tell y'all, I've been through it today. Hey, I like this too. God, these are so pigmented. Okay, let me get out a green screen. All right, that was just the one coat and I just pressed my lips together. I can't express to you how good these are. I try to, but then it's gonna get over dramatic. I'm not gonna gasp, I'm not gonna scream, I'm not gonna yell, but there's truly something special about this formula. Kiko is honestly here in the States. Now in Europe, they know. they're in and out of those stores. You know what? It's because we don't have enough stores here. Kiko, can we just have like a store in every state, please? Make one in Houston, please. Just please, okay? I'd be your biggest customer. Now I'm gonna swatch the rest of the shades that I do have. Actually, I'll swatch 0-1 here on my cheek. That is such a pretty shade. I just feel like the shades are really nice. Like, we're not seeing these colors, and I feel like these are really nice. We really don't see them. I definitely don't see this texture. Now, this is a color I might not be reaching for as much, but I could be wrong. What do I know? I don't know. I feel like I'd wear that in the fall. It's so pretty. So the one I just swatched was 1. This one is 7. I should have done them in order, but I don't even have all of them, so. Here's 2. Oh, I would wear 2 all the time. That's delicious. Here's 3. Oh my, I love that shade. That with a darker lip liner. Oh my goodness, we have to put this one on too. And then this is shade 4. This is the one that I did the post. And I just love it so much. That is just a dadgum good shade. I can't believe this one's actually not sold out. The shade I have on is sold out. I cannot believe that one isn't. Here, let me put it closer to this one so you can kind of see the difference. Again, this is shade 4. I don't know. I love both so much. But you can see this one's a little bit more vibrant. That one's more muted. But then this one's still muted. That again. Love it. All right, now let's see what I got at Ulta. Which, by the way, Kiko Milano is on the Ulta website, in case you're wondering. I don't know if these are, because these are limited edition. Normally the limited edition they keep on their website, but they do have a lot of the things, like the bronzer that I use all the time, the water shadows. There's a lot there. Let's keep trucking. I think I still have some on here. I'm a mess. But Ulta is here to help me not be so much of a mess. Listen, I see everybody doing that Smashbox ad. I was just never, that would be so inauthentic because that Smashbox primer was not for me. We're all different. Does it make it bad? Absolutely not. Because the science was always there. It was ahead of its time, but it was just something I didn't enjoy on my skin with the certain formulas that I liked at the time. That being said, Smashbox. This caught my eye and I bought it. I had to have this. And y'all are going to look at this palette and you're going to go, nee. Most of you will, I know, because it's got those greeny greens in there. But you know what? Those greeny greens caught my eye. That feels quite delightful. Okay, Smashbox, let's give you a try. Now I'm not going to take this with me because this isn't going to be the vibe I'm going to go for while I'm gone. Plus, I really and truly only travel with that daggum 𝗕𝗿𝘂𝘀𝗵𝗲𝘀 palette now. And then I bought another one of these. I feel like this is a really slept on blush formula and I reach for it all the time. If I'm doing a powder, I find myself reaching for this formula. It is so fluffy, puffy, blurring. Remember, blurring means to diffuse texture, to kind of disguise texture into just a really smooth. Anytime you blur something, it's diffused and a little out of focus. And that's what we want for most of our makeup products. So, if you have thought about this, give it a try. Wonder if it's on that 21 days of Ulta beauty thing. I don't know. This is my third one that I bought. By the way, I am going to take 2 blushes with me. I'm going to take my 𝗕𝗿𝘂𝑚 in the shade Zen, and then I'm going to take this one. And I even thought that I kind of wanted to pair them together. Maybe not. I don't know. I always feel like I want to have a liquid and a powder with me. Excessive, yes. It is. I know. But it's blush is my comfort product. I have to have it. And then I bought another one of these because I really love this brow gel. This is the MAC brow gel. It was the last one there. I was very happy. I was jumping for joy because I was so scared that it was going to be sold out and there was just one. And I was just like, there it is. It's for me. Love it. But it gives a very defined look. You're not going to get floof. You're going to get definition. If you want floof, you want the Too Faced Fluff and Hold. If you want just a nice, lifted, defined brow. I have nothing on my brows right now. We are all fighting for our makeup lives right now. That's not about what we're doing. But I highly recommend this brow gel. And I'll do a tutorial with it and talk you through and explain it and give you the visual. But I'm just showing you that I did restock it. Oh, and I wanted to show you the wand. This is my old one. It's almost empty. So if it looks a little weird, this one's very, very old and almost completely empty. In fact, it's not even picking up how much it was picking up before, but the wand is really cool. It really does work for my really coarse brow hair. And then, I feel like I had this and then I don't know what happened to it. But I want to do a look with this. This isn't new. I feel like this has been around, but my goodness. That's a really good shade, Fenty. But I want to try it. When I do it, I want to try it with the red lip liner, and then I also want to try it with the really dark lip liner, the cold-blooded. It's gonna be beautiful. So I'm looking forward to that when I come back. I'm gonna put that right there, front and center. And then the last thing I bought, I got a sample of it. I did. I don't know where. I think somebody at Ulta gave it to me last time I went, and I liked it. I saw a difference in my forehead lines. I did. So I bought this 𝗕𝗿𝘂𝘀 MD line serum, and I saw a difference in a little sample that I was only using on my forehead because it was such a small sample, but I was able to use that sample for about a month, and I really do feel, and obviously y'all, I've never had Botox, not against it, just never did it, still not ready to do it, but I really do see a difference, and I really like it, so I went and bought it. And then it also says it's for the marionette lip line, the lines here, really anywhere that you get even 11s, anywhere you get your deep lines. For me, it's really my forehead. So I'm super excited. I bought it. It's going with me. I see a difference. 11 out of 10.